Are our police really even-handed in these issues, or is the law being misused? You saw what has happened, that the Delhi police has now filed FIRs against both Owaisi and against Nupur Sharma. Vivek Sood is senior advocate, MN Singh is former top cop of Mumbai. Appreciate both of you joining us. Let's turn to the policing and legal aspect. You first, Mr. Sood. What is your sense? Do you believe the law is being misused by our politicians to settle scores?
Definitely, Rajdeep. I believe that the law is being misused across the spectrum. But I feel that the problem is larger. You know, it's not only about politicians. It's about the character and nature of the social media. Now, Rajdeep, when you came into journalism, you know, you were trained as to what to say and what not to say, how much to say and how much not to say. Now comes the social media, which is like an unbridled horse. Every citizen on the planet, you know, can exercise his free speech. It's free for all. Now, when you have something like social media, so then, you know, apart from being a very democratic medium of free speech, it has also become a hub of hate speech. So, you know, social media, while hate speech is there, while free speech needs to be protected, hate speech needs to be redefined and penalized. So, you know, definitely it's misuse of the law, and I strongly believe that the legacy of what's happening today is Section 66A of the Information Technology Act that came into the statute book in 2009. It was a draconian piece of legislation, so overbroad, it was grossly abused over so many years. So, you know, so the problem is much larger. The problem lies in the nature of the social media itself.
That's very interesting. You believe...
I strongly believe that you must redefine social media abuse. You know, you have to redefine it, you have to penalize it. While free speech needs to be protected, it needs to be promoted. Hate speech needs to be redefined and penalized.
Okay. Let me also bring in, therefore, MN Singh for your comment. Mr. Singh, is the police not aware of when a particular speech is offensive, when it is hate speech, and is unable to make the distinction, or they simply do what their political masters want? Delhi police has been told, ye Owaisi ko bhi pakdo along with Nupur Sharma, so there is a sense of balance. Or Maharashtra Police says, ye actor ko jail mein dal do because she has offended our leader Sharad Pawar.
Rajdeep, who do we blame? I mean, we are all into this. Whether it is politicians or the police or the media, I think everybody has gone mad in this country. And if we're talking about the police, do you think the police are free really to do their job as they are expected to do as per the law? I don't think any police officer in his sense will go on registering cases of sedition. There was one case against you also. This is all, you know, we are becoming, in this, today the atmosphere has become so bad. It is the politicians who are doing all this, and the blame comes on the police.
No, so you're saying the police are simply following the instructions of the politician? Are you saying there's nothing left like an independent policeman who can decide in his or her own judgment? Do they know even the law in some cases? The lower level constabulary, can they make a distinction? A local SHO or the Thanedar between hate speech and offensive speech?
Rajdeep, may I comment on this?
Just a minute, sir.
Let me tell you, Rajdeep, constabulary and the lower level sub-inspectors, inspectors don't decide. These orders come from the boss. You know, this case of, I don't want to take an individual example because I may be blamed that I'm taking sides, but then the case is against a Rana couple. The case of sedition was registered, and now they have dropped the sedition charge and filed a case, a simple case. Now, why on earth did not the police commissioner or the other senior officers know that the sedition charge will just not stand? But then so much of bad publicity was done for the police, and the police was blamed. So I don't think it is the police who are free to do this, to take this action. And if the police have done it on their own, I think they are just not doing their job properly. So I think all these hate speeches, somebody coming on the television channel and using very bad language, attacking the prophet and things like that, I think this country has gone mad. And if you really want...
Sir, country has gone mad, and some would say the television news ecosystem on some channels has gone even madder. But that is a discussion for another day. That we have to look inwards. We have to look into our own conscience. We have to do also some Atma-Chintan.
I don't think I should blame the law. The laws are there. The laws are always misused. All kinds of laws will be misused, but we need the laws. Now, how to use the law, it all depends on the person who is given the responsibility of using the law.
Okay, let me leave it there.
Then also there will be a problem. If we have the law, then also there is a problem. There has to be a balance. You know, in this society, a small criticism of a politician, you slap a charge, sedition charge, or register some kind of a case. This is a democracy. If you are really believing in the freedom of speech and expression, you must allow this and take this criticism.
Right, sir, but I will make a distinction at the end as I conclude, and I appreciate you all joining us, that we have to make a distinction between hate speech and the right to offend.
Of course, I agree.
And we have to use hate speech law under section 153 very strongly. Yes, Mr. Sood, you wanted to say something in the end.
Yes.
20 seconds.
Rajdeep, there is a Lakshman Rekha between free speech and hate speech. Now, the police in our country does not understand the Lakshman Rekha. Secondly, it is too subjective to classify between free speech and hate speech. The line could be very thin. Moreover, the apex court judgments do not reach the police stations in the country. For example, Shreya Singhal. In Shreya Singhal, the Supreme Court went on to say that only speech that is instigative is hate speech. Otherwise, rebellious speech, revolutionary speech, ridiculing somebody, it is all part of free speech.
Okay.
Now, therefore, the police is not able to classify between free speech and hate speech. Now, in this scenario,
the police know their job very well. If you allow them to do their job, then you will not have any of these issues. There's a complete chaos. It is wrong to say that the police don't know the distinction between a free speech and hate speech.
Therefore, the line is so subjective. The magistracy of the country must rise to the occasion.
Not correct. The police officers know their law, and the police officers know how to use that if they are allowed to use the law properly.
Therefore,
one by one, sir.
All I am saying is we must have checks and balances in the system.
Checks and balances are there.
For example, before arresting
one by one,
let
Mr. Sood finish.
The checks and balances are there. Article 19, which talks about the freedom of speech and expression.
Okay, gentlemen, if you speak over each other, we won't listen to both. But clearly,
not the absolute freedom.
Okay, when we have a police officer and a lawyer giving two different perspectives, it shows there is a problem in definition at times as well. But it's clear, any speech that instigates violence deliberately, in a malified manner, and any speech designed to promote enmity between communities, provocatively spoken, deserves the law book thrown at them. But it must be done in all cases and not selectively. It's only then that you can take the moral high ground.